Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel Roseology. So today's video we are basically talking about the upcoming next 2 weeks that was kind of kicked off by this full moon in the sign of Aries. So we're going to be talking about the astrological chart in depth and what to expect over the next couple of weeks based off of the energy that this full moon is pretty much like conjuring up. So I do have a pick a card reading that will be featured after this astrological breakdown, rundown, whatever you want to call it. So you can definitely head to the comments or the description section for the timestamps to different points and topics discussed in the video if you know exactly why you're here. Now the full moon will be occurring October 1st, 2020. I'm so excited. So a few things to get out of the way first is no, I'm not taking personal readings. I do not have social media. The reason why I leave my email in the the description section of the videos is that the way if you guys want to send me like some emails, personal messages, ask me some questions, something like that, I try to get back to them. So I'm still getting back to emails because I get a lot of emails per day. The channel is growing so fast. We're gaining a lot of new subscribers. So to my new subscribers, my old subscribers, thank you guys so very much for being on this, I guess you could say, a kind of journey with me. It's been really dope having all of you in my life for the last like almost couple of years now. Like I'm really appreciative and thankful. I'm really glad that you guys like the content that I've been putting out, because sometimes I really don't know when I'm like coming up with like these crazy ideas. Well, I don't come up with these ideas. I don't know where they come from. They come from somewhere, but you know, when these ideas kind of hit me, like do a video about this, do a video about that, I really don't know how you guys are going to receive it, if you're going to like it, if not. So, you know, the fact that, you know, most of you guys seem to really like it and like the style, I love that. I love doing these readings and stuff for you guys because this stuff does take a lot of energy. Matters of fact, I'm actually filming this video for a second time because just out of nowhere, my computer up and crashed and I lost everything that I recorded. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't see because it's not your issue, that's my issue. It's my things to deal with. You know, I just want you guys to come and enjoy the content. A few things that I did want to mention, well, one thing that I did want to mention in a little bit that I had already kind of mentioned in the previous video, that I had some personal things going on. So a few weeks ago I found out some news about my dog, and he's like my child because I don't have any kids, and he's been with me for so long. I've had him for 10 years. You know, basically I was told news by his vet a few weeks ago that, you know, I kind of have to prepare to say goodbye to him because he's in the last kind of stages of his life. His health took a turn. Honestly, his health had been kind of declining a bit. If I'm being completely honest though, finding out the news about him, it's really made me realize how far I've come in my own spiritual, like, conscious journey as far as connecting with my ancestors, my guides, my angels. If it was not for them, if I had found out this news like a few years back, like before I got into like my spiritual journey and all that, I would have legit thought, like, I would have been distraught. I think it just comes with age and maturing, and it's like the older you get, especially with 2020 really made me realize, like, wow, the older I get, the more people I'm gonna have to say goodbye to, and that's not an easy thing, but at the same time it's a part of life. I'm so far into my spiritual journey and I've learned so much about life as well as death, and that death it's not what I used to think it was. You know, I used to find it just like so, like you're gone, but I don't see it that way anymore. And I don't know, it's been such a weird, strange last few weeks where it's like I took my time, cried my eyes out, but it wasn't like despair, you know, and that's something that I'm so thankful for, to like my angels, my guides, God, my ancestors. I'm so thankful, because if there's one promise that God made me before I got into the spiritual journey, was it told me, like, you will never feel alone again, ever. And I have felt so supported throughout this whole entire situation. My family, my physical family, has been there really supporting me and helping me through this. And you guys, reading you guys' supportive comments, you guys don't even know what I'm going through half the time, but you guys' comments always come through in some way to like support me, or, you know, tell me something that I need to hear at a time where you have no clue what's going on. And I really like thank you guys so much for that. And I'm just so thankful. Like I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed, and the fact that I can still feel that way going through this makes me have so much gratitude. As sad as it is, the fact that he's this beautiful gift that was given to me that I have to give back at some point, is heartbreaking, but there's a sense of peace and acceptance there too. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that I am going to definitely start using the communities tab more up here on YouTube. I don't know why I just always forget that it exists. Perfect for someone like me that doesn't own social media. It's perfect for me to, keep you guys up to date with what's going on, if you can expect a video or not, something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. And let's just go on ahead and jump straight into the astrological portion of the video, because I don't have anything else to say. Starting off with this astrological chart for the full moon happening in the sign of Aries. So the full moon will be occurring October 1st, 2020. That may change depending on where you live in the world. The full moon happens when the moon and sun are sitting in 180 degrees apart. So they're in opposition with each other. This is what we call opposing or opposition in astrology. And they're kind of like almost at like a standoff. Their energies or frequencies are at like a standoff. The sun is going to be in Libra, and in its opposing sign in Aries, the moon will be there. So that's what makes it a full moon. Now, the moon will be in the sign of Aries, and Aries is ruled by masculine Mars, fiery Knight of Wands energy. I'm going to also put up a picture of the Knight of Wands because in case you don't know that card, just looking at that card, you're going to be like, I totally get Mars energy now. Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is currently retrograde right now. And I'm just kind of having my notes out so that the way I can stay on track. Mars is currently retrograde, right? Anytime we're dealing with a planet that has gone retrograde, we're dealing with very extremely potent energy. And so it's just like when you're driving your car on the highway and your car starts to slow down, all that momentum has to go somewhere. It goes into your car. Same thing that's happening with the planets. When they start to slow down and go into retrograde, all their momentum that was trailing them, it goes into that planet. That energy just sits there and it pulses or it germinates. It's almost like a heartbeat. It just sits there and it cooks. So when we're dealing with Mars retrograde, who Mars is he's the god of war. He's the god of ambition, motivation, determination, drive, energy, tolerance. I've always seen him as. So Mars is all about being proactive. He is the divine masculine in his most active form or phase. So when we're dealing with Mars energy, it's all about Knight of Wands, go, go, go. Mars energy is basically like, he's the reason that we do the things that we do. He's the reason that we go to work so that the way we can pay our bills. I've always described him like this. He's the reason that we do this. He's the reason that we go on that diet so we can look like this for the summer. That's just Mars energy. It's all about, I'm doing this for this cause, for this reason. That is why Mars is the god of war. You go to war for a reason. You literally sacrifice lives because of some sort of cause that you believe in or opinion that you believe in. While Mars is retrograde, this can feel like a pressure cooker because he's like sitting in his own energy. So when a planet goes retrograde, it actually ends up feeling a bit heavier or more pressurized in a sense because that energy is just sitting there. It's not moving. Mars is also sitting in the later degrees of his native sign Aries because Mars rules Aries as well as he co-rules Scorpio. And so basically he's like spinning his wheels. You know how kind of like when a car is about to take off, like a drag car, drag racing, whatever it's called. That's exactly what's happening with Mars energy because Mars is so active. He's so go, go, go. He's the god of willpower. He's the god of might. He's the god of force. He's basically just simply force. So as he's like sitting there, he's still trying to move because that's just his energy. That's just his frequency. And because he's trying to move against a brick wall, his wheels are spinning. Now, an interesting thing that Mars is doing for this full moon is Mars is trining Venus. Also in another fire sign, she's sitting in the sign of Leo. Mars is squaring Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, who are in the earth sign of Capricorn. Mars is also opposing Mercury in the water sign of Scorpio. So Mars retrograde trining Venus in another fire sign is like making plans. So if Mars is the divine masculine in his most active form, then Venus is the divine feminine in her most attractive form. Both of these planets kind of match each other, but from different degrees, from masculine versus feminine energy. So he's looking to Venus because Venus moving through Leo. It rules the fifth house. Leo is a huge dreamer. Leo is kind of like when you ask a little kid, what do you want to be when they grow up? And they say like, I want to be the next, Michael Jordan, or I want to be an astronaut, or I want to, whatever it is. They have these wild dreams. That is very Leo energy. That's why Leo is very youthful sign, youthful energy. So with Venus, who's a divine feminine, very attractive moving through Leo, she's attracting in all these dreams, all this good energy of like, man, I can be whatever I want to be. I can do whatever I want to do. The sky is the limit. And so Mars is kind of in this like stuck place, but he's trining, which is a positive aspect to Venus in Leo. And he's almost like looking at her as a means to kind of like escape through his imagination. So as he's stuck spinning his wheels in the sign of Mars, or in the sign of Aries, and so he's almost like looking at her and thinking to himself, damn, when I get out of this, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. So it's almost like he's making all these plans before he starts moving along again. And this is the energy that we're feeling, where it's like we're feeling maybe kind of down, maybe kind of stagnant, maybe kind of stuck, maybe kind of inactive, but at the same time, it's like our mind isn't inactive. It's like our imagination is not inactive. It's like our heart is not inactive. Our heart is dreaming. Our mind is dreaming. Our, imagination is dreaming up all these big visions. But at the same time, we're dealing with some sort of brick wall somewhere in our life. So basically, I'm saying all that to say this: be very, very careful about making big promises, long-term commitments right now at this point. I don't necessarily like to say, don't move ahead with this, and this just because we're in retrograde season, because one, not everybody's chart is the same. And the way that I have studied astrology, from what I've seen, is that retrograde seasons come to sit some people down, that the way other people can get going, so it just depends on every person's energetic makeup or energetic thumbprint, which is what I call your astrological chart. Anyways, be careful of making big plans right now and commitments, because Mars retrograde, his energy, like I said, he wants to go, but he's in front of this brick wall just trying to like move, and he can't. So he's extremely restless and extremely temperamental. Mars is already temperamental. He's the god of war. He will go to war over any little thing that he believes in, that he connects to, that he wants or desires. You know that saying, I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's like, don't spend your check before you get it. Let's just say you got a big ass advancement coming from your job, right? And you already start thinking of like, I'm gonna take a trip over here, I'm gonna buy this over there, I'm gonna do this, and this, or I'm gonna save it, whatever the case. It's like you're already spending that check before you get it. That is Mars retrograde energy, where he's like, I'm already thinking about how I'm gonna do this, and this. I'm gonna dedicate myself to this. It's like he took his direct energy for granted, and now that he's sitting still, he's like, oh my god, all the things that I could have done, all the things that I could be doing. Be very careful with making really big promises, long-term commitments, because it's very easy for us right now to kind of make empty promises, or for others to make empty promises to us, because it's like we're in a state where it's like we can't fulfill that promise anyways right now. So it's like, of course, it's easy to say, I'm going to do this, and this, or I want to do this, and this. But once that opportunity actually comes knocking, then we might be like, well, I don't really feel like doing that with my time anymore. You know how we can kind of make promises before actually fulfilling it because we think we're kind of capable. So Mars retrograde, he gets very confused because he's always capable. But when he's retrograde, he's not as effective as normal. It's like Mars being retrograde doesn't realize the responsibility of these goals, plans, dreams. And moving on to Mars squaring the big three, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn in the earth sign of Capricorn, this is another reason for this friction and very tense feeling, because of the simple fact that Capricorn, Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn. He loves Capricorn energy. So the fact that he's squaring off, almost like kind of like fighting with this energy, like boxing with this energy, it's really uncomfortable for him, one, but two, he feels a lot of FOMO as he's squaring off with Capricorn energy. He's feeling a lot of like, I am missing out. He is Mars times 1000 when he's in the sign of Capricorn. He gets a lot done. So the fact that he is squaring off with this energy, he feels like he's missing out on a lot of things. This is feeling like we're missing out on opportunities, like we're not doing enough, like we're not recognized or appreciated enough, like we're getting passed up on opportunities, feeling like we're being punished, feeling like we're a disappointment possibly. But it's all in our heads, especially with Mars opposing Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. Now, Mercury, the planet Mercury, rules the mind. He is the god of the intellect, of the mind, of communication. Basically, Mercury is like the gatekeeper. If you want to expand outside of your realm to communicate with different dimensions and things like that, you have to go through Mercury. Mercury is the gatekeeper to different dimensions and realms. So he's the one that kind of opens the door. So he's kind of like that operator, like when you call a big company or something and they're like, how, where do you want me to direct your call? That is Mercury all day. Mercury being in the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio is the energy that is, it's a water sign, but it's a very dark sign because Scorpio is ruled by Mars, the god of war, as well as Pluto, the god of death. So when war and death come together and make a baby and they make Scorpio, this is a very intense energy that is all about the reality of life, the fact that wars have to be fought, people have to die, things have to end. Scorpio is just all about like that, let's keep it real energy. Like, yeah, life is great, but Scorpio is not like butterflies and rainbows. And before you say, I know a lot of Scorpios that aren't like that, they're very delusional. I'm talking about Scorpio energy, not a person that's a Scorpio, because they have a whole chart with a Pluto that's somewhere, with a Mars that's somewhere, with a Venus that's they got a whole chart going on and aspects, a lot of things going on that make them the type of Scorpio that they are. Okay, so I'm not talking about people that are Scorpios. I'm talking about scorpionic energy. So basically, when we're dealing with Scorpio energy, we're dealing with very deep, intuitive, realistic. Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio. Pluto is the darkest planet in our solar system. It's the furthest away from the sun, meaning that it is the furthest away from illumination, clarity, and truth. So this is why Pluto rules manipulation, power, control, influence, because of the simple fact that it's in the dark, it's in the depths. You can't really see what's going on. And so Scorpio also rules the unconscious, aka the shadow. So when we're dealing with Mercury, the mind, being in the sign of the shadow, of the unconscious, we're dealing with a lot of deeply embedded, maybe like fears, things from our childhood. You may be having a lot of nightmares right now that are kind of stemming from your childhood. You may have like nightmares that you used to have when you were a kid or from like years ago. You may be having dreams about a lot of ex-people, ex-friends, ex-lovers, co-workers, ex-something, ex-bosses. You might be having a lot of dreams about things that you kind of like pushed back to the side. You may also be having dreams about things that you need to deal with. That's a lot of what the shadow is. The shadow is comprised of the things that we don't want to identify with. It's like somebody that's supposed to be religious that maybe they like to drink. They're going to put their party animal ways in their shadow and pretend that like that's not me. I'm going to go in this direction, So that's kind of what the shadow is made up of, just the example right there. But yeah, the shadow is made up of things that we do not want to claim. We don't want no attachments to it. Like, that ain't me. And normally our shadow comes out in other people where it's like we don't like people because maybe we see something in them that relates to us or our shadow that we don't want to acknowledge sometimes. So we're definitely exploring the deep unconscious and the shadow. And so there's a lot of noise with Mercury being in Scorpio opposing Mars. There's a lot of noise that's coming from that deep, dark place that houses our shadow. And like I said, Mars co-rules Scorpio, but when Mars is retrograde, he doesn't feel as capable. He doesn't feel as equipped to deal with the shadow and the unconscious. If you have ever done shadow work, you know it is exhausting. It is draining. It is challenging. It is no joke. It's like trying to push out a spiritual baby. You're literally having to you're literally having to work something into the light that is so used to being caged in darkness, that is so used to not being a part of your conscious awareness. It's a lot of fucking work. You literally have to deprogram your own consciousness. It's no joke. And Mars is very aware of the battle that it takes to deal with the shadow and the unconscious, which is why when he's retrograde, he's a little more reluctant. He's a little more hesitant to just jump into shadow work and unconscious work. He's kind of more like, I don't really know about this right now. Like, I'm not feeling like I have everything that I need to deal with this. There's a lot of, one thing that I wrote down across the chart for this full moon was avoidant. This is highly avoidant energy that we are dealing with right now, being with Mars retrograde. Mars being retrograde will cause a lot of avoidant energy. And with Mercury, the mind being in Scorpio, Like I said, Scorpio keeps it real. We're very aware of the fact that there's certain things that we're trying to avoid right now. We're very aware of the fact that it's like, yeah, I know I need to deal with that, but I don't fucking want to. Like, I'm not dealing with that. Like, not right now. We're very aware of the certain areas in our life where it's just like, no, not right now. No, like I've got this going on, or I've got nothing going on, but I'm damn sure not gonna have, I'm not about to have that going on. Your partner may be pissing you all the way off. People in your life may be pissing you all the way off, especially if you're like trying to push them to talk about things, if you're trying to push them to acknowledge certain things, and they're like this brick wall pushing back, resisting you, saying, stop, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to deal with it. It may be sending you over the moon right now. But this is that avoidant energy. So really try to be patient with it. But with Mars being so restless and temperamental, it's very easy right now for you to just be like, you know what? I'm out. I'm not dealing with this, because all that pressure that you're feeling. So this is kind of like that fight or flight mood, or not fight or flight mood, but this is kind of like fight or flight energy. But instead, we're going to change it to like fight or sit energy. So it's like people aren't really running away from this energy. It's either they're trying to fight their way through this resistance, or they're going to sit their way through this resistance, because it's so heavy. This energy is so heavy. It's so potent. It's in retrograde. It's like pressure that's just sitting on us. I don't know if you guys have ever seen A Christmas Story. One of like my favorite scenes in that movie is when the little kid gets pushed over, and he has on so many like clothes. He has on so many coats he can't move. He's just, if I find a screenshot of it, I'm gonna put it on the screen here. But he's just like laying there, and the narrator says Charlie just lay there like a slug. Some people are just laying there like a slug in this energy because it's so heavy. Others are trying to fight their way through it, and they are exhausting themselves. Moving on here to Sun in Libra, squaring Jupiter in Capricorn. Now, this is very you or me energy. And at the end of the day, who are most people going to look out for? Their damn selves. That's why I was saying too, there could be a lot of empty promises being made right now. Don't fall too deep into it, especially if people are hitting you up with like ideas like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Believe it when you see the action, because a lot of people are talking without a lot of action backing them right now, because we don't have a lot of actions able to back us right now. But like I was saying, this is definitely you or me energy. So right now, there may be people in your life moving in all types of weird ways. You may be saying like, you're not the person that I grew up with. You're not the person that I've known for X amount of years. You're not the person I fell in love with. You're not the person I married. You're not the person that I this or that. And they may be saying this about you as well. But this is basically because the Sun in Libra seeks harmony. Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is divine feminine. All energy, honestly, seeks to harmonize, but especially Libra energy. The Sun in Libra, it seeks harmony, but because the Sun is squaring Jupiter, and the Sun is our ego. It's how we identify. It's who we see ourselves as. Our ego, we're seeing ourselves as though I want to harmonize. I want to understand. I want to relate, but it's like with this energy squaring Jupiter, the Sun doesn't know how to collaborate. It doesn't know how to really play along. It thinks it does, but it's not really doing it. So, instead the Sun kind of wants to take over and say, well, I know how to make this work. I know what the best solution is. I know how to handle this. It's kind of like the energy of like, going ahead and move out the way. I'll take care of it. You could definitely be dealing with that sort of energy right now. Or you could be coming off that way right now. There's a lot of bruised trust as well with this energy. And it's in a sense where it's like we're skeptical that people know what's best for us, or that they want what's best for us. We can be very suspicious of that right now. A lot of suspicion flying around, but this all ties back to Mars being retrograde. When he's stationed direct, he is so active and he's so like charging ahead. He doesn't really care if he has an army following behind him. He doesn't care if he's backed up by anybody else, because he has so much force and willpower and strength that he could care less if he has somebody on the side of him. He doesn't care. He's just charging ahead because he believes in himself that damn much. So when he's not able to do for himself like how he used to, and he has to depend on other people, this is very foreign energy for him. He doesn't understand how to do that. So that's one huge thing that this full moon in Aries is teaching us, is the fact that we cannot do everything on our own. We have to ask for help sometimes. It's like we almost feel as though we're letting ourselves down by saying, I need help. You know, it's taking a hit to our pride. So it's like not everybody struggles with asking for help, but there's certain areas in your life where you prefer to be independent. And whatever areas those are more than likely the ones that's getting hit by Mars retrograde right now. There's also some bruised trust here too because of the fact that Mars is retrograde. And like I said, when Mars is charging ahead, all he needs is himself. He's a one-man army. He's also very proactive, very hyperactive, so he's aware of so many little things, like you would have to be in a war. In a war, if you are caught slipping somewhere, that could cost you the whole battle, right? This is going to cause some suspicion with him where he's like, I have to really be on my P's and Q's right now because I'm vulnerable. I'm exposed, you know, like people know that I'm not that god of war right now. And that makes him feel, you know, he's the type where he's like, I'd rather rule through fear and intimidation than love, you know, or he'd rather rule in respect than love. Love is his counterpart, you know, it's Venus's thing. But for him, it's like, it's all about domination, conquering. If we didn't already have a solid relationship before Mars retrograde, we can be extremely suspicious right now. So if you're feeling hyper aware, it's definitely this energy, you know, especially if you're having like nightmares, like let's just say like you're in a relationship or something, you keep having nightmares that is like cheating or lying or saying something. That so might not be the case, but because of all that unconscious scorpionic energy, we're dealing with our deepest fears, you know? So it's like, you're not picking up that energy from your partner. You could be picking up that energy from your parents' relationship or from your best friend's relationship who just went through a horrible breakup, or through something that you watched on TV. You know, maybe you saw a crazy movie a couple of days ago and you're just thinking like, damn, that would suck if that happened to me. We have to be very careful about where we think we are contracting energy from. Kind of have to calm yourself and really know where these little triggers are coming from. But when we're dealing with the unconscious, it's like a dark room. We don't know what's going on in that dark room. That is why Mars knows that I have to have a purpose. Divine masculine energy, it brings purpose, it brings reason, it brings direction. And basically, the divine feminine, she's like this vast void, dark space where anything can happen. We can dream up all of these amazing things. We can imagine all these amazing things. We can create all these amazing things. Well, the divine masculine energy, it comes in and it pronounces these things that we are trying to bring to fruition, that we're trying to manifest. Divine masculine energy, it comes in and it says, well, I'll help you enunciate that. So like the divine feminine, for example, let's say that we come up with an idea for like, I want to be a business owner. Divine masculine is going to come in and say, that's a great idea. Now let's get down to the real business and sit down and come up with a logical plan as to how to execute this. So he's going to come in and pronunciate your dreams. He's going to come in and like a drill sergeant and say, well, you need to do this, this, and this. And so he's very disciplined. He's very all about self-containment and self-control. Masculine energy, it's kind of like when you're dealing with the dark room. Imagine shining a flashlight into that dark room. Divine masculine energy is like a trajectory. He lays out a path for you. The divine masculine gives you a lane to stay in so you don't get tripped up out here. This is why it's very important for us to connect both of these energies. I've never been a spiritual person that has venerated the divine feminine over the divine masculine or vice versa, because I've always seen it as though we need both. And it's really, really funny too, because a few weeks ago, my guides and angels and my ancestors came to me and they were pushing divine masculine. They were just like, you need to connect to masculine energy. Like you really need to start connecting to that. I've spent the last like good 3 years of my life all about divine feminine energy, like just because I had a lot to heal in my relationship with divine feminine energy. Being a woman, it can almost make you regretful, you know, it can almost make you scared of being a woman. And I know very many women can relate to that, especially Black women. Like it can be hard. It can be really, really hard being a woman in today's world. And well, not even in just today's world. This has been going on for millennia. But anyways, I had to really decondition what I thought about the divine feminine energy and femininity in general. And you know, the world will have you looking at feminine energy as though it's weak, and it's so not weak. Women birth humans. We birth humans. We do the hardest job that there is. We keep the human race going, but we're weak. I had to really connect to feminine energy in a different way. And I spent the last like a good 3 years of my life really doing that. I think now, like a few weeks ago, this message started coming in heavy. And I was like, okay, you know what? The next moon, I'm going to work with some masculine energy. And then I ended up realizing like, oh my God, the moon that we're having is a full moon in fucking Aries. You know, feminine energy is a great place for us to create things. Masculine energy, it gives us the support to bring it into fruition. And we need both. It's yin yang, you know, light, dark, life and death. These things go together. Duality needs opposition. Existence needs contrast. There's nothing wrong with having some sort of contrasting energy. If anything, there's nothing wrong with masculine energy. There's nothing wrong with feminine energy. People created issues with these energies. And so I'm very careful not to blame energy for what humans have done. So yeah, you know, Jupiter energy, very like Big Daddy Kane. I think he has the most moons in our solar system too, like 80 something moons or something like that. Jupiter just went direct a couple of weeks ago. So this is huge masculine energy. So if Mars is like the divine masculine at like his most active phase, his most youthful young phase, then Jupiter is divine masculine energy, but he's a bit more mature. So that's why he's known as the guru. He's a bit more mature. He's a bit more relaxed. He's not as go, go, go. He's kind of like the King of Wands. So we go from the Knight of Wands to the King of Wands between Mars and Jupiter. And so he's kind of like chilling back, sitting. Don't test him, but he's chilling. He's a little bit more chill. With this energy going direct, I think it really did help me to start seeing that like, wow, I've really been neglecting like masculine energy, and I need to develop a relationship with that as well. And so I'm now coming to the part where it's like, I think now I'm ready to start marrying these two energies together, but I'm probably just going to need to spend some time with the divine masculine. Divine masculine energy is so important. It gives us confidence. It gives us assurance. It gives us a blueprint, a map to follow. It gives us a trajectory instead of just kind of being like lost in the, what's that called? Not the in-between. What's that called in Get Out? The sunken place? Yeah. You need the divine masculine to kind of see your way out. And that's the thing when we're dealing with like unconscious energy, shadow work. Shadow work needs a purpose. You can't just go into shadow work just thinking like, I'm just going to deal with my shadow. It has to be for some sort of a purpose. Otherwise, you can get easily lost in your shadow. So you need to go into your shadow work knowing like, I need to work on this because I'm trying to work on my intimacy. I'm trying to work on healing my childhood. I'm trying to work on healing generational curses. I'm trying to work on healing my relationship with my parent, whatever it is, I'm trying to work on my self-control, whatever it is. You have to have some sort of intention when you are working with your shadow, because you are in the depths of the divine feminine. You're in the depths of darkness. You can't see a way out. So when you go into that shadow with some sort of intention or purpose, I am in here to work through this. That gives you that tiny little light. It gives you a tiny little light while you're in there where you can see like, that's where I need to go. Now moving on here to Moon conjunct Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries. Now, Moon and Chiron interchanging frequencies is another huge factor playing into the fear of disappointment. Feeling afraid of letting someone else down, letting ourselves down, letting our position down, letting our role down, not being able to fulfill our position, role, responsibilities. Huge fear of that. There's a huge fear of even success right now, because it's like, can I maintain that success? Can I keep up with everything it is that I'm asking for? So you may be dealing with like a huge fear of your manifestations and your prayers actually coming true, which sounds odd, but sometimes we can deal with these things if we haven't really worked out those unconscious issues where it's like, I am a bit afraid of success. I am a bit afraid of having so much of an abundance, because it's a matter of maintaining it. I forget what they call this in psychology. My mom taught me about it because my mom went to school for psychology, but there's like some sort of thing where people will spin until they're broke, because it's more comfortable for them staying at like a bottom line, staying at zero, because it's like they can't lose any more money. It's almost like they're forced to stop spending, you know, because they don't have that self-control. They don't have that discipline. There could also be a fear of not being able to please others, especially with the moon opposing the sun in Libra. Libra rules the 7th house. This is the house of the other. So if the first house rules the self, then its opposing house, the 7th house, rules the other. So this is partnerships, relationships, dynamics. That's why it's represented as the scales. With moon opposing the sun in Libra is our ego is seeking to harmonize, but our moon, our emotional, instinctive, internal self, is feeling a little bit like, hey, it's either you or me here. I feel like I have to kind of decide or choose between you and me. Do I take care of me? Do I look out for me, or do I look out for you? Do I prioritize myself, or do I prioritize you? With Sun in Libra, Libra ruling the 7th house, this has a lot to do with partnerships. And Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries is also stirring up a lot of internal fears that we're just not good enough, that will be abandoned or forgotten. At the end of the day, I can't necessarily say you would react like this because I don't have your chart here, but you know, your chart is going to make you respond to these energies differently. But you know, just going off of this example, just going off of this energy, somebody could say something really mean to you and you end up blaming yourself. You end up saying like, well, maybe if I wouldn't have said that, maybe if I wouldn't have done that, maybe if I wouldn't have looked like that, maybe if I wouldn't have come off like that, maybe they wouldn't have said it to me. So there can be a lot of self-criticism right now, a lot of judgment of the self right now, where it's just like, I wouldn't have gotten wounded, I wouldn't have gotten hurt, my feelings wouldn't have gotten hurt, my pride wouldn't have gotten hurt if I would have done this. There's a lot of ifs, but this is all happening especially because of Chiron. Chiron is a comet, and he is called the wounded healer. That's what he's known as. So Chiron is kind of like a first responder, you know? So if Mars is the god of war, after he wipes out the army that he goes to war with, there needs to be some sort of medical person in there that's coming in, bandaging people up. That is Chiron. Chiron is that wounded healer. It's going to come in and clean up that fight, that battle. Chiron is always available, willing, and ready to come in and help others, clean up others, you know, issues, heal others, help others, bandage others up, make others aware of what it is that they're going through or dealing with. And this is because he is gifted with the sight of being able to see others' wounds, pains, issues, shortcomings, weaknesses, anxieties, but he can't for the life of himself see what's bothering him. So he's kind of like his own blind spot where he just cannot see what's going on with him. So it's almost as if imagine like you had some sort of back wound or something. You have to depend on somebody else to come across and be like, hey, like, can you look at my back, like something hurts? And they have to tell you what's going on. That's Chiron. This is why I say that it's really important for us to all have our Chirons activated. That the way you can help the next person. So it's like, if there's something going on with your back, I can check your back out, but I'm gonna need someone else to come and check my back out. And then they're gonna have someone else come in and check their back out. It's like this domino effect when you're dealing with Chiron. Another thing with Mars retrograde energy as well is it's kind of like when you imagine like stubbing your toe and you don't feel that pain until like the next day, going to the gym on Sunday, and that pain doesn't hit you until the next morning, like Monday morning, and you're just like, damn, I can really feel those leg presses I was doing. I don't go to the gym, so I don't know what it's called, but you know, it's like you can feel that pain the next day. So Mars retrograde is almost like postponed pain coming back up to meet us. It's kind of like pain that we stubbed our toe a long time ago in that relationship or in that job or with that experience or with some sort of mistake we made or with some sort of choice or action that we took. We stubbed our toe way back when, but that pain is catching up and it's hitting our ass now. So it's kind of another thing with Mars retrograde energy as well as with Chiron retrograde. Chiron retrograde, we're also sort of dealing with that energy where it's like he's able to feel all of these things that he couldn't feel before because he was almost numb in a sense because he was so dedicated and committed to his purpose of helping other people. He didn't have time to sit and stop and reflect and think and feel his own wounds. But when he is retrograde, he feels all those pains and he's not able to get any relief for them because there's no other Chiron in sight. Every other Chiron is retrograde as well. Every other person is going through their Chiron retrograde. And their Chiron energy is focusing in on itself. So this is kind of like being wounded and there's no medical assistance. There's no first responder. There's no one around that can help you. You have to do the best on your own. It reminds me like the Nine of Wands. I don't know why, but the Nine of Wands always makes me laugh so hard whenever I see that card because he just looks like he done been through it. Like he looks beat up, tired, abused, scared, wounded. He just looks like he tried to build up a little wall with his sticks and everything, and it's not helping. You know, he's got the little bandage on. He's fucked up in the game. And that's probably why he graduates from the 9 to the 10 of Wands, where he is struggling carrying those 10 of Wands. Not, you know, those 10 of Wands, those wands are heavy anyways, but he's also still wounded. And no one's come and really checked on his wounds or actually properly healed him. He's not properly healed, and he's still trying to carry those 10 wands. So it's like he's dealing with his own wounds. He's dealing with that pressure. He's dealing with that weight. He's dealing with the journey that he has to walk. He's dealing with all of it. And he's also dealing with the fact that I'm the only one that can carry this. I'm the only one that can do this. There's no other Chiron to activate. Every other Chiron is also in retrograde, sitting on their asses trying to figure out, how do I heal myself? So it's like there's no help coming. That is what Chiron retrograde has to realize. There's no help coming. I have to do the best that I can do right now with the circumstances that I have. This is why there is a huge part of this full moon that is forcing us to ask for help, because of the simple fact that we know help is not coming. Chiron gives us a little bit of a luxury where it's like, I'm wounded, but I know somebody will come along and kind of like show me the way. Not in this scenario, not with this full moon. With this full moon, nobody's coming. So you have to be the one that gets up and says, I need help. And if you're not used to asking for help, it's going to really sting. It's going to sting in a sense where it's just like, damn, I have to tell people what's going on. Like, I got to be real about what's going on. Yeah, we have to. Otherwise, there's no way of getting help. And so because I had already filmed this, I have to refilm the tarot portion of this where I did a little quick general reading for us, because I also have the piles as well. But yeah, I'm just going to look at that very first card that flipped over. We have Nine of Swords. This is already turning out to be a very different reading from the one that I did earlier. Next cards that we have, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. So this is a general reading for all of us dealing with this full moon in the next 2 weeks. Over the next 2 weeks, I'm seeing a lot of people worried that their efforts aren't enough. Three of Cups, like I was talking about, your efforts not being enough. Three of Cups is all about people bringing their... Three of Cups is all about like being met with equal people, being met with people that are able to bring their own substance, their own personality, their own advice, their own energy to the fray. So it's kind of like when you're dealing with your equal. And so because when you look at the Three of Cups, each one of those women brought their own cup. It's kind of like BYOB, like bring your own beer, like you didn't come empty-handed. You actually came with some sort of a substance. You're not just here just to enjoy the festivities. You also brought some festivities for us to celebrate and be festive about. So that's why there's such a celebration with the Three of Cups. But with the Nine of Swords right here, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this is a huge fear about, I don't know if my efforts are enough. This is a huge fear about being scared of the fact that we're not really seeing any sort of results. It doesn't seem like things are getting better. It seems like things are getting worse with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Nine of Swords is straight up anxiety all day, like I was talking about. Then we have Eight of Swords came in. So this is feeling trapped. And then Death right after. This is feeling trapped, and this is definitely feeling trapped and feeling as though the only way out is complete surrender. There is no other way out. And then look at that. The Fool in reverse jumped out. So this is for sure Eight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. Okay. So can you guys see that? Hopefully you can. So this is for sure Fool in reverse, Eight of Cups in reverse, Death, Eight of Swords, Three of Cups, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, Nine of Swords. This is just like, yeah, we're not feeling like we're going to get out of something. And because of that, it's causing us to feel nervous, scared, anxious, and a little bit hopeless. With the Nine of Swords here, Eight of Swords, Death, Fool in reverse, this is like a hopeless feeling where it's just like nothing's going to get better. Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this is like a hopeless feeling, nothing's going to get better. Three of Cups, though, is saying that there's a possibility you have to bring in people that are your equal, though, and be careful of who you surround yourself with. This Three of Cups is saying that for sure. Be extremely careful who you surround yourself with right now, because right now at this point, you're feeling a lot of types of ways. You're feeling... at this point, you're feeling very like, you could be feeling very down. You could be feeling hopeless. You could be feeling helpless. You could be feeling like nothing's going to change. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that are equal to you, are just feeling just as down, what do you think that's going to do? That's going to lead right to this Eight of Swords, feeling even more trapped. Feeling even more trapped. Let me get some other cards out here. Spontaneous. You got to switch it up. You're going to have to switch it up. This is the time right now to not hang around the people that, and you know your friends, you know your friends, you know your family, you know which people that you need to kind of stay away from right now. Because especially if you're dealing with some sort of like down feeling, hopeless feeling, like this isn't going to get better, this isn't going to change, that's depression. When you're feeling hopeless, helpless, I'm not a medical physician, I can't actually diagnose it, but I have been diagnosed with depression. 4 years ago I was diagnosed with it, and I dealt with it for a long time, for years, until I finally broke out of it in a sense. But that's such a serious thing, and because I'm not a medical professional, I don't really like to talk about it too much. I have my own opinions on it, being that I've dealt with it, and I believe that all of us deal with depression and anxiety to some degree. Just not all of us need help coping with it. But yeah, for sure, this looks a lot just like very heavy feeling like the world is on you, feeling like there's just something on your back, like weighing you down. You can also stay the course. This card came out with the last reading that I did before everything just shut down. Stay the course. Don't give up. Stay the course. You can think of a question as I'm shuffling too. These cards may answer it. This is like my random oracle deck where it's like there's so many random cards in here. So many random cards. But yeah, make sure that you're reaching out to people that can actually help you out of the situation, that are actually going to uplift you. This is not the time. Watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. I don't know what you guys asked for as I was shuffling, but you got watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. Then we have curious about you. That could be the watching and waiting. Somebody may be watching how you're dealing with something, how you're going through something right now. Then we have healing in progress. Healing in progress. Underneath the deck, we have within a year. This also came out the last reading that I did before everything shut down. So if you asked about something specific, there's your specific answer within a year. Let's see. Let's get a couple more cards, you guys. Just be careful about who you're hanging around at this point as you're going through this. Nine of Swords is no joke. Transformation. And we have the Death card down here. So there's a transformation that you're going through. You may be learning how to kind of step outside of your comfort zone. You may be learning how to trust others a bit more and to actually ask for help. We have here forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that weighs very heavy on us as well. That could be another thing that's weighing very heavy on you guys, is forgiveness. You wanting to be forgiven, or you contemplating, do I forgive this person? Do I move on? Because I do need some support right now. And then we have here protection. So do a protection ritual as well for this full moon in Aries. Let me get one more from this. Do a protection ritual as well if you know how. Then we have going forward. Like it said, stay the course. So, okay. You guys, do not lose faith in whatever it is that's happening or going on. Purification. Do not lose faith in whatever it is that's happening or going on. Don't worry about it. Don't lose faith. It's okay to doubt sometimes, because our journey does get hard. Our journeys definitely do get difficult. They get hard, and you know that it's okay to doubt. It's okay to doubt, but you don't want to stay in a place where that doubt is starting to turn into anxiety, where it's starting to turn into fear. Oh my God, these just all jumped out one after the other. We have the Sovereign here, which represents the Queen. So this is divine feminine energy. We have connect to heart. Strength. Power. Strength and power. And then we have play. Some of you as well, what's coming through, you may not want to ask certain people for advice. Sometimes then underneath the deck, we have love. Sometimes we kind of know not to talk to certain people because they're going to tell us something that we don't want to hear. They're going to tell us to forgive. They're going to tell us to get over it. They're going to tell us to grow up. They're going to tell us something, something that we just don't want to hear. And we might at the time want to hear, like, be petty. We might want somebody that's going to, like, encourage the pettiness in us. And I get it. I'm a Taurus. I can be very petty if you piss me the fuck off. So, I get it. But it's like, for sure, be really careful about, like I said, Mercury's in Scorpio, so we know what we're doing. We know if we're avoiding something. We know what we're doing. So we know that, like, I'm not going to talk to my mom because my mom's going to tell me to grow up. I'm going to go talk to my best friend who's going to talk shit with me. You know what I mean? Like, we know those people that's going to give us the advice that we need versus the ones that are going to give us the advice that we want to hear. So be really careful about that when it comes to power, strength, and connect to heart and the sovereign. For many of you, it's some sort of feminine energy in your life. It could be a man with feminine energy as well, but it is some sort of feminine energy in your life that can connect you back to your power and your strength through your heart space. And we also pulled the love card underneath the deck, as well as the forgiveness and transformation and protection, as well as going forward and stay the course, healing and progress. So there's a lot of forgiveness here that a lot of you may not be ready or willing to do right now. Very first one that came out is Bergamot. Trigger statement, I am not enough. True statement, I love myself. Your tender heart is in need of care. Know that your body is here to help you experience a miraculous life. Embrace it. So for sure. And then we have Fennel. Trigger statement, it is not my fault. True statement, I take full responsibility. Shift into your body and listen. Release the emotions you've been storing and move forward. Again, move forward. Yeah, there's like definitely something here with forgiveness. We'll get deeper into it in your personal reading. We'll get a little bit more personal in whichever pile it is that you chose. And then we have underneath the deck calming. Trigger statement, I cannot trust anyone. True statement, everyone deserves my love. I open my heart to heal and release. I open myself to the peace of divine love and grace. Again, with more healing, forgiveness themes. These divine feminine cards. I don't want to make this too long. We have Hera Alliance. See, like the Three of Cups. Align with the right people, you guys, over the next couple of weeks. Be very careful aligning with people. And even when I'm talking about like aligning, like it might not even be friends and family. You may be listening to like certain celebrities and stuff that are just maybe they like to, start trouble all the time. Maybe they want that smoke. Maybe they maybe they be doing stuff where it's like they're always keeping up with issues and fights and arguments. Just you're taking that into your soul, into your spirit, into your vibration and your frequency. Whoever it is that you come across, whoever it is that you exchange energy with, you're taking on their energy, especially when it comes to sex. I don't know why that message is coming through right now, but especially when it comes to sex, be careful. And then look at this. We got Gaia Earth and she's pregnant. Again, I don't know why that came through. That message about sex came through. Lazy? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's a card of revelation. Especially when it comes to sex, you guys, and then we have here Mama Killa, the moon, and she came out in the last reading. She really wanted to come through then. Yeah. especially when it comes to sex, you guys, we have to be so careful just because of the simple fact that you are really taking on that person's energy. And anytime we are exchanging with energy, whether it is sex, whether it's you listening to your favorite artist on the radio, whether it's you listening to someone's podcast, watching me on the internet, watching someone else on the internet, whatever it is that you do, you're exchanging energy with, and you have your own frequency, right? And anytime you're exchanging your frequency with someone else, what's happening is your frequency is trying to calibrate to their frequency. Like I said earlier, energy is always seeking to harmonize with other energy. So anytime you have energy that you're coming across, those frequencies are trying to match. So if you're all the way up here and you're messing around, especially sleeping around with somebody whose energy is down there, like let's just say that like you're working through all these generational issues and traumas and things like that, and you come across somebody that maybe you start sleeping with who has a lot of childhood trauma that they refuse to deal with, what do you think is going to happen to your frequency? It's going to try to calibrate. It's going to try to match it. It's going to fluctuate. And that can cause these feelings of up and down, up and down, up. And those up and down feelings, it brings 9 of Swords and it brings 8 of Swords feeling. That's what it brings. And it's all dependent upon 3 of Cups. Who is in your alliance? Who is around you? Really, really, really important. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. You feel like you're not getting anywhere. 7 of Pentacles upright already feels like, damn, this is taking a long time. He's literally sitting there watching grass grow when the card is upright. In reverse, it's not getting anywhere. Why isn't it getting anywhere? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Be very, 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 very serious about that. Over the next, not just couple of weeks, over the next few months, be very serious, very critical about who you spend your time with. And it doesn't mean you have to be judgmental. It just means that you have to put yourself first. Like I was talking about with this full moon, it's either you or me. And if you have done all of this work on yourself and you're still friends with people, messing around with people, even if it's your family, it doesn't matter. It's either them or you. Your sanity has to be intact. Your peace is the most important. So if you are dealing with people whose just energy is down, what do you think is going to happen? There needs to be a huge transformation. Death card. Where is the other purification right here? Purification card. Purification, transformation, protection, forgiveness, going forward, watching and waiting, you guys. Somebody's watching and waiting. And I don't know what kind of watching and waiting this means. I don't know if somebody is watching and waiting for your downfall. Be careful who you're talking to and what you're telling them about your situations. Some people may be watching and waiting for you to take a turn because they want you back down on their level. Be very careful. I'm not trying to make y'all paranoid. Just be aware of it. We have full card in reverse. Full card in reverse. Either you don't want to start out on this new beginning or someone else is trying to keep you from starting out on your new beginning. It's one of the two, you guys. It's one of the two. 8 of Cups in reverse. Somebody doesn't want to let you go. Or you don't want to let someone else go. Or you don't want to let something go. Or something doesn't want to let you go. Revelation, you're going to have to acknowledge whatever it is. You're going to have to acknowledge it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get to these other 3 readings. This is all I'm basically saying for the general reading. I mean, I could definitely dive into this some more, but I need to save my own energy for when it comes to editing this and all that. So this is all I'm saying for the general reading. I do pray that you guys have a beautiful full moon. Manifest the craziest, wildest dreams that you have. Know that you are worthy of them. Know that you deserve them. Please stay healthy. Keep each other in your prayers. I'm going to keep you guys in my prayers. Keep me in your prayers. And yeah, let's just get to the other 3 piles and I will meet you over at your... All right, and on pile 1, I have amber calcite. On pile 2, I have a titanium quartz cluster. And on pile 3, I have hematite and quartz. All right, and pile number one, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with your tarot cards before getting to oracle cards to see what the next 2 weeks has in store for you. So the very first tarot card that we have here is the Nine of Wands. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm sorry for the glare. And we have the Ten of Wands in reverse. Okay. So pile one, this looks like a hyper concentrated situation here to have the Nine of Wands and then the Ten of Wands in reverse. Nine of Wands talks about being wounded, having recently went through a challenge or battle or difficult time and needing a break from it. Pile one, you're tired spiritually and energetically, and this is a thing with retrogrades in general, is they exasperate situations greatly, especially when the inner planets go retrograde. So Mars slowing down, and Mars is one of the inner planets. Mars slowing down makes time feel like it's moving slower. It makes emotions feel more lucid and pressures feel heavier. So there's a theme here for you over the next 2 weeks, given whatever you may be dealing with. And I can flip a clarifier. I think I'm going to actually do that for your pile here. But yeah, there's definitely some sort of a theme here over the next 2 weeks that you just don't feel like handling or being involved in. You want to get to the finish line with this Ten of Wands in reverse right here so you can be done with this. But something is being drawn out or inflated over the next couple of weeks. And it's happening as you're trying to recuperate and get your energy levels back to normal. So pile one, please, please, please watch your sleeping schedule and your diet. And I know it sounds super cliche and obvious, but both of your cards here are wand cards, and the wands represents life force energy. So this is talking about how you feel. It's talking about your energy levels. So your motivation levels may fluctuate over the next 2 weeks. So do not give yourself a hard time for needing to take some time off or take some time to yourself. If you're not being strict about your sleeping schedule and what it is that you're putting into your body, your energy levels are going to spike and crash quite a bit, and it'll cause you to feel depleted and fatigued, even if you didn't have an active day. You could have just been like laying in bed watching Netflix all day and felt so exhausted because of the simple fact that you're maybe not getting enough rest, or maybe you're eating, your diet just isn't as good. So yeah, Ten of Wands in reverse, you really want this to be over, whatever this is. For many of you, it's a feeling or it's a state of mental health is what I'm picking up. And our energy levels, of course, can affect our mental health. So I think the way that you're feeling mentally is a symptom of your energy. That's why sleep and diet will be so important for you, because that's your secret weapon. That's how you deal with this or get through these next 2 weeks while remaining grounded and centered. But yeah, you're ready to kind of jump the finish line. Problem is you're already tired, and Ten of Wands is no joke. It is a huge tug or pull on our energy. This is like trying to run a mental and emotional marathon, but you haven't recuperated from the last one. Before a marathon or anything that is labor intensive, what do? We rest up, we train, we get good food in our system, we prepare for this labor, for this sort of work that we're going to have to put in. So this is being unprepared mentally and energetically. So please, food and diet, really, really watch out for that. I'm just going to flip a clarifier here just to see if the cards will tell me what this could be, kind of specify what this could be. All right, so as I was shuffling, this flipped over, Hangman in reverse. Hangman is a card of discomfort, but we already knew that. So let's see. Then we have Queen of Wands, Temperance, Four of Swords in reverse. Yeah, so definitely take some time to rest if you need to. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands could definitely be talking about you dealing with a feminine energy, dealing with like a maternal figure. It could be you dealing with somebody with feminine energy. It could be a man with feminine energy as well. Queen of Wands can also talk about confidence. Temperance talks about healing and patience as well. And then, like I said, the Hangman talks about discomfort. Underneath the deck, though, we have the Sun. So this could, yeah, like I was talking about, sometimes the Sun card, I pick it up as mental health, your mental health coming through, because the Sun is just a state of being when we deal with the Sun card. And I did touch on your mental health a little bit down here with the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands, that there could definitely be kind of like a pull on your mental health because of how you're taking care of your body. So yeah, for sure, this could be healing a relationship with a maternal figure or your mother or somebody with feminine energy, or this could be a relationship that you need a break from, especially with this Hangman right here in reverse. This is just like discomfort, just kind of sitting and not really going anywhere. It's not really dispersing, it's just sort of sitting. 4 of Swords in reverse is saying you need a break. You need some sort of break from this in order to heal and to recuperate naturally. In order to heal and recuperate effectively, you're going to definitely need some time off or some time to yourself, like I picked up. Okay, let's get to your oracle cards here. See what else it is that we're seeing. So very first card that we have, temporary. You guys see that? Temporary. So this is temporary, pile one. This will not last forever. And that's why it's so important to take care of your body these next couple of weeks, because the situation doesn't have to feel so heavy. These next 2 weeks don't have to feel so exhaustive, but it's just a matter of preparing yourself and your body to get some extra energy, to receive some extra energy, to deal with this 10 of Wands moment. Because there's a 10 of Wands moment that you're kind of either dealing with or going to be dealing with over the next 2 weeks, and you're going to need all your energy to sort of deal with it. You need to kind of get prepared energetically for it, because like I said, 10 of Wands, it just takes a lot out of us when it comes to our energy levels. It takes a lot out of us. It's like going to the gym and putting in like a really hard workout, it's like that takes a lot out of us, and we're human, so we're going to feel it. Then we have here sacred sexuality. Okay, so this is interesting. So, and you know what? We have 2 Wands cards here, and Wands can talk about sex, intimacy, pleasure. And it's funny because in the general reading, even I mentioned being careful about sexual partners. There's a great way for you to channel energy and stress through sex. The thing is though, pile one, for sure, that message was definitely for my pile one. Sorry, you guys. You can hear my phone. That message that I picked up in the general reading about sex, I was trying to figure out where that was coming from, but that was definitely probably from my pile ones for you guys. But yeah, so sex can ease your stress or add to it, pile one. It's a matter of knowing who you're dealing with, even if you're in a relationship. If your partner's energy is off or isn't right, 2 weeks is a really long time, and I'm not saying that you need to hold off on your partner for 2 weeks, but depending on, like I said, sex can ease your stress or it can add to it, depending on who you're exchanging your energy with. Like I said, anytime we exchange energy, our frequencies, they try to calibrate to that other person. This is also talking about finding personal intimacy and pleasure within yourself as well with the sacred sexuality card. So there's a lot of like, even kind of like self-pleasure that's coming through here. And so, take it as it resonates. Self-pleasure could be even something like taking a day to yourself. Like, yeah, we talked about you taking some time off to yourself. So again, that's kind of coming up with the sacred sexuality card here. It doesn't feel as sexual. It doesn't feel like sex just for pleasure. It feels sacred. It feels sacred, it feels intimate, it feels passionate, it feels healthy. So for sure, like I said, sex can add to your stress or it can ease it. So just, be cautious about who it is that you are spending your time with. We'll say it that way, okay? The next card that we have here, Mama Kocha. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think I am, but it's a card of water. So yeah, water is bringing a lot of messages. You could as well be dealing with a water sign over the next 2 weeks. That would be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You may have some water energy in your chart, but water is bringing a lot of messages to me. So one thing for sure is more water in your diet, as well as this is a time to be as expressive as you find necessary. There will be moments throughout the next 2 weeks, pile one, where you feel like crying for no reason, possibly. This is your spiritual body trying to flush out energetic toxins. So allow that to happen, as well as working with the sacral chakra, listening to meditations or the frequency of the sacral chakra at night, working with crystals that correlate to the sacral chakra, herbs, yoga poses focusing on the sacral chakra, because the 9 of Wands is here in your reading, which can talk about blockages for sure. And you may have some blockages in that sacral chakra area. And oh my God, we also have sacred sexuality here. I forgot. Okay, I forgot this card was right here. So, sacred sexuality, sexual intimacy, pleasure, all of that deals with the sacral chakra, as well as water, sensitivity, emotions, crying. The divine feminine rests in our sacral chakra. So, for sure, work on that. Work with that area. Work with the color orange. Work with water. Before you drink water, even bind your intentions to it just by saying a few words. And if you want to know how to bind your intentions, I also have a video for that. I can link it down below for you guys if you want to get more information on that. But yeah, definitely bind your intentions to your water before you drink it. Just kind of say like what it is that you intend for that water to do to your body, for you. Okay. Next card that we have here is patience. Wow. And we have the temporary card right here. And then we have, look at that. We've got thriving. I love this card. Okay. So again, we have patience and temporary here, like I was talking about, and the 10 of Wands in reverse. So you are definitely waiting for something, Pile One, over the next couple of weeks, waiting for the storm to pass, possibly waiting for this energy or situation or feeling or mental state to pass, waiting for it to kind of plateau, that way it's not so maybe intense feeling, because there's something here that you're just kind of coming off of an intense situation, an intense feeling, an intense experience, something like that. That's what the Nine of Wands talks about. Talks about sort of being in a very chaotic situation and kind of finding that resting spot, that sweet spot where it's like I can rest for a moment. So, for sure, it could kind of be just like I'm waiting for something to sort of dip off. I'm waiting for this energy to kind of plateau. So this could be, as well as too, this could be recurring for you. So I also suggest some protection rituals this week and the week after. Could be like, and protection rituals could be like a prayer or a scripture or listening to frequencies. I actually also started filming a video for different ways that you can, for powerful ways to protect yourself. So that'll be releasing pretty soon. But yeah, that's definitely coming through here as well. Some sort of protection rituals for sure. And it could be something as simple as like listening to frequencies. It could be a prayer. It could be reciting a scripture that resonates with you. It could be cleansing your space, physically cleansing your space, lighting some incense, some essential oils in a diffuser, smudging, lighting a candle, spiritual bath as well, especially with this water card right here. And if you can't take a bath, then do a spiritual shower. You will come out of the other side of this thing though, Pile One, feeling a lot stronger and thriving from how it is that you went in before. Do not be afraid, Pile One. That's the biggest message for you, is do not fear what is trying to come in and help you, shape you, or evolve you, because that's exactly what's happening. The final card that we have here is Juniper Berry, and it says, trigger statement, my mind does not rest. True statement, I listen to my higher self. This is the card of projection. Look at each story that repeats itself in your mind as a stranger would ask. Ask yourself, is this true? Exactly. So, definitely stay aware of your mental state, like I was talking about. Okay, so this is all I'm saying for my Pile Ones. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what the next 2 weeks has in store for you. So let's go on ahead and get started. So the very first card that we have here is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have the King of Pentacles, also in reverse. I don't know what that was, but I saw some sort of a ring or a circle or a halo, or it was, I don't know what that was. But there was like a strange, I'm actually still seeing it. Yeah, there's like a strange circle, ring, halo. I don't know what that is. Could be like your angels. I'm not sure what that is. I'll see if something comes up throughout your reading. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse. What's with these pairs matching up to? There was another pile that was kind of like this. Same suit, both court cards. So what I'm seeing here, pile 2, is force for sure. Page of Pentacles moves at his own pace on his own schedule, so much so that he ends up missing the battle, you know? And there's an energy here that I'm picking up for you that's trying to help you avoid something, especially over the next 2 weeks. But you may be trying to force something that's not trying to happen right now, or you're going against your own judgment. It's like how you you know you probably shouldn't, but why not also at the same time? You know, it's like there's something here that you're trying to rationalize, even though you know this probably isn't the best idea or it's not for you. And I don't know why for the life of me, but this feels like an X. I'm going to flip a clarifier in a few moments here, but this definitely feels like an X for some of you. And you know that this person is no good for you mentally or emotionally or spiritually, especially, but you might be a little bit bored. You might feel a little unmotivated or okay, this is interesting. Ooh, okay, you might feel so secure that you feel invincible. You might really feel on your shit heading into these next 2 weeks, like just feeling good, feeling like cloud nine. Or even if you're not feeling like cloud nine, you might just feel very secure right now. And it's interesting how security can feel like boredom sometimes. It's really interesting how that can come across. And it's like we work so hard for security, but once we get there, we're like, you know, don't mind shaking things up a little bit. This is the interesting thing. It's kind of like I'm picking up here, like this feeling like I'm so evolved past this relationship or person and how they did me that I can handle them now. Like I'm healed, I'm over it, I'm whatever. Like I can handle this. I can deal with them now. And not in a committed way. It might not be like jumping back into like a commitment. This might not be romantic. It could be like platonic. It could be a friend. It could be a family member that you're allowing back into your life, you know, ex jobs, ex habits, something like that. But this is kind of like entertaining the idea of having someone or something come back into your life because you feel like you can handle it now. If it's not a person, like I said, could be alcohol, feeling like I can handle that now. It could be spending money. Fill in the blanks with your own personal experience here, but it's not necessarily an honest assessment of the situation. You're kind of underestimating someone or something over the next 2 weeks because you think you can deal with it now. So this happens especially when the god of war, Mars, goes retrograde. We can end up underestimating or overestimating situations, people, and experiences. Even ourselves, we can end up doing this too. But watch out for this because it's not that you're not strong enough. It's not that you haven't learned enough. It's not that you're not evolved enough. It's not that you haven't come far enough, pile 2. It's that it's not meant for you. That's why it's not a good idea now or next week or next year or maybe even ever to invite this, whatever this is, back in. And like I said, you know you shouldn't, but you're feeling so capable. So there will be a little voice that you hear that cautions you and causes you to hesitate a little, even if just for a second. That moment of hesitation is how you're going to know, I don't need to deal with this because the situation, person, vice, whatever this is, does not value me the way that I should be. And if we entertain people that cannot see our value, what does that do to our value? It causes it to fluctuate. Like how I was saying with our energy earlier, like our energy calibrates when it exchanges with others. Same thing goes for our value. So let me flip a clarifier here just to kind of see. All right, pile 2, let's see. Let's just get some clarifiers. What is this Page of Pentacles and King of Pentacles in reverse referring to? I was going to say something doesn't want to talk. Okay. Let me just get one more. Yeah. Felt like there was another one. Okay. So we have Strength in reverse. Yeah. Like what I was talking about there. There's something here trying to come back in. And then we have the Page of Wands. What he was kind of like this. I don't know if he was in reverse but we have, all of these are in reverse here. Okay. So we have Strength in reverse. Magician in reverse, 8 of Wands in reverse, Page of Wands, who was like this. So I don't know if he was in reverse or not. He couldn't make his mind up. This looks like, again, like I was saying, you feeling capable. Definitely you feeling capable, but you are kind of underestimating a situation for sure. The Magician here is kind of talking about you feeling like you're in control, but being a little there's like a lapse in judgment here where it's like you feel like you're in control, you feel like you're strong enough, you feel like you are organized enough, because Eight of Wands to me, sometimes I see it as organization. You feel like you're organized enough, you feel like you know where you're going, you feel like you're in your purpose, you feel like you're going in the right direction, and it's like you're really kind of underestimating all these things. You're underestimating allowing this back in because you feel like you're on such a high right now. Or going into the next 2 weeks, you feel really good. You feel really secure about something. And so it's like then that little message comes in, that person comes in, that offer comes in, that opportunity, that invite, something comes in, and it kind of flips all these things around for you. And it's kind of like, should I do it? Should I entertain it? You know, there's like this 10 of Cups in reverse is underneath. There's kind of like this question here, like, should I do it? Should I entertain it? If you have to ask, I don't think you should. I really don't. 10 of Cups in reverse. This has the opportunity to ruin something that feels very fulfilling for you. Something already feels like it's enough. Something already feels fulfilling for you. Something could ruin that fulfillment. So be careful of that. Be very, very careful of underestimating whatever this is. Strength in reverse definitely talks about underestimating. Magician in reverse, he feels so capable, but Magician upright feels very capable, but in reverse, this is like displaced capability. This is displaced confidence. This is what this is. It's displaced confidence. It's like, I feel like I'm good, you know? And so that might give you enough kind of a reason to try something, and then it's like you try it and it kind of ends up hitting you in a way that you weren't expecting it to hit you, affecting you in a way that you weren't expecting it to affect you, causing you to feel a certain way you didn't expect it to make you feel because you really thought you were past it. You kind of underestimated it. This is what I'm picking up. So it's like, be very careful with that. Let's check out your oracle cards. Look at this, you guys. Practice self-love. Practice self-love. So I'm looking at your oracle cards for additional messages, like anything that I may have missed, but practice self-love is exactly basically what I was talking about. Your value fluctuating, or the way you feel about you fluctuating. You feel so secure right now, or heading into these next 2 weeks, but entertaining this, whatever this may be, will have you go from feeling sure of yourself to feeling timid or unassertive or more doubtful in yourself. So practicing self-love for you will be keeping this person or habit or mindset or whatever out of your life. You know, that is an act of self-love for you, is like saying no and sticking to that boundary. Like, you're not in my life anymore for a reason. And it's not that you can't forgive people. It's not about staying angry. It's not about staying upset. But you know, it's very possible to love people from a distance. It's very possible to not have people in your life without having a grudge against them. I don't know why people just assume like just because you don't have someone in your life, it means that you hate them. No, it could very simply mean like, you're just not healthy for me. Like, do we eat chocolate cake every day? No, because it's not healthy for us. Does it mean that we hate it? No, it just means that like my body can't handle that every day. Some people we have to handle like chocolate cake. I can handle you sometimes I can't, you know? The next card look at that. Oh, wow. The next card that we have, you guys, this is crazy. Self-love. You guys, I don't pick these. I do not pick these cards. That's wild. That's wild. 2 different decks came up with the same message. Do you hear me now, pile 2? This message is coming through strong. If there's anyone or anything trying to come back in your vicinity that does not value themselves the way that you do not entertain them. Don't give them the time of day. This feels like a test. Now this feels like a test. Saying this for a second time, this is a test for you over the next couple of weeks, pile 2. This is definitely a test. And then we have here Lakshmi, fortune. This is your goddess for the next couple of weeks here. Or she's, you know, the energy of Lakshmi over the next couple of weeks here. But this is why you're being tested or challenged, pile 2. You've got a lot of good fortune coming in. And the thing is that your ancestors don't want to see you giving the time of day to anyone that doesn't deserve it, much less sharing this fortune that's trying to come in with people that do not deserve it. And if this isn't people, it could be habits or a lifestyle that your ancestors don't want you involved in because because it could ruin this fortune by reinviting the same habits into your life, by reinviting the same mindset into your life. So your ancestors are trying to keep you away from something that the way it doesn't ruin this fortune that's trying to come in, this blessing, this abundance is trying to come in. Do you see how fortunate she looks? Do you see how abundant she looks? That's what's trying to come in. And that's why they're like trying to make you like stiff arm this person or whatever this may be. They do not want this around you. The next card that we have here is simplicity. You see that? Simplicity and standstill. Beautiful card too. So pretty. I love trees like with the Spanish moss. You see the simplicity card here? This is your ancestors and angels coming through again saying, do not complicate your life. They're coming through with some messages heavy today. Like kind of what I was picking up with your tarot cards pile too. You're feeling so secure. Either all around you're feeling secure, or in one area of your life, you're starting to see some things come together and you're feeling really good about the results that you are seeing. Do not complicate things by allowing something back in because you feel so secure, like we talked about earlier. Sometimes security can translate as boredom eventually because it's like everything's taken care of. I kind of don't mind, ruffling some feathers or shaking things up because security can translate as boredom in a sense. So your ancestors and angels are definitely here saying, do not complicate things. Security does not want us to risk it. Security comes into our life for assurance, not so that we can take unnecessary risks and further complicate things. That'll only lead you to questioning yourself or feeling like you don't make good decisions. It'll lead to self-doubt. Stay on the course pile too, because you're knocking shit out of the park. Just don't get too ahead of yourself. It's okay to just stand still and appreciate how far it is that you've come. You don't have to start spending that security just yet. Appreciate it for now and appreciate you most importantly. Okay, and the final card that we have here is respiratory, the card of breath, trigger statement, I can't breathe, true statement, I open up to all possibility. You are ready to let go of the suffering so that you can take in new possibilities, release so you can receive. That's beautiful. Okay, so this is all that I am seeing for my pile threes, you guys. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what it is that the next 2 weeks has in store for you. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first card that we have here is the Page of Wands. And then the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. Strangely enough, I am picking up some anxiety or worry here. Page of Wands is telling me that you are a bit worried about some news coming in, or you are worried about what you're going to hear because of this news or information. Some of you are waiting to hear back about something, and this is probably only for a couple of you here, but you're waiting to hear back on a decision for maybe a place that you've applied to. Maybe you're trying to buy or rent, get a loan for it, something like that. It could be a car or some sort of like a big purchase. It could even be school that you're trying to get into. It could be like student loans that you're trying to get approved for. And this, I don't know why, but this feels like credit. So I know that sounds so specific and I'm trying to stay away from that message, but it feels like someone is worried about not being able to do something or buy something because of something like credit, or maybe because you don't make enough money yet. There's like a decision on you being made and it's bringing some pressure or stress your way because you just want it to work out. You're wondering if you're enough. You're wondering if you make enough, wondering if you did enough, wondering if you stood out enough, wondering if your resume was enough, something like that. You feel like this is kind of like that final step. If I can get past this, or if I can make this work, it's smooth sailing from here on out. You know how we kind of like make a goal and we say like, if I get there, like, man, like life is going to be set. You know how we kind of have those ideas? That's what I'm picking up here for you over the next 2 weeks. It's this energy here over the next 2 weeks. It's like, because you just want it to work out. I see the situation completely dependent upon you and your mindset. That's the funny thing with this Ace of Swords in reverse. You may actually be like the swing vote in a sense here. You staying optimistic, thinking positively about the situation. I know sounds so illogical and basic to some, but I'm telling you, your mindset has a lot to do with how this works out for you. Ace of Swords in reverse is your ancestors saying that you need to trust in something outside of you. Don't just trust in your abilities and the work that you've put in, but believe in a universe that can make this happen so easily for you. They want you to expand your mind outside of the realms of possibilities of what you consider possibilities. They want you to stop putting your fate in the hands of other humans because they're not the ones deciding what happens. They may look like it. They may actually be the one that comes back and says, hey, I got a decision, but they're not actually in control. So don't displace the hands that control truly lies in. They're not in control. You know who is? You are. You are in control of your fate. They're trying to show you, your ancestors and angels are trying to show you, they've been trying to show you this, but you're kind of like me in a sense. You can be a little bit hard-headed. And you know what? It's not even like hard-headed. It's just like you're logical. You're just a very logical person. Ace of Swords is here. And you're a logical person that's like, you got to show me for me to believe in it. But that's the funny thing about energy is we see what we believe. What we believe is reflected right back to our reality. It's tied in together the way that speed and time equal distance. When we are measuring the universe, they can only show you as much as you are willing to see or believe when it comes to your spiritual team. Let me just flip a clarifier here, just to kind of see what this could be dealing with. Let's see. Very first card, we have Queen of Swords. Again, yeah, that logic coming through. As well as there could be some sort of a woman making a decision. King of Cups, this could be a relationship, or Knight of Cups, this could be a relationship that you're dealing with. Or it could just be an offer, like an offer that your heart is really invested in. We have here, Eight of Pentacles. This could be work. Queen of Swords just feels like a boss to me. So it feels like for some of you, these two cards are kind of tied in together, and this could definitely be like a boss. And then we have Ten of Wands in reverse. Yeah. So there's just like a little bit of fear here. There's a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety about exactly what this Queen of Swords is going to decide. This could definitely be a woman or somebody with feminine energy. Could be a man with feminine energy. Underneath the deck, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So yeah, this is your mind stealing away opportunities. This is your faith stealing away opportunities because you don't maybe necessarily see how this could work out, or because you're thinking to yourself like, they have better options. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe they're going to go with someone else. Maybe I don't make enough. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Yeah, there's a lot of maybes. But at the end of the day, like I said, you are in control of your fate. Look at that. We have the Eight of Pentacles right here. He is working. He keeps working at that same pinnacle to perfect it. That's the thing that you have to do. You have to keep working at your belief, keep working at your faith. As I've always described faith on my channel as a skill. We have to learn it. We have to exercise it to get good at being able to believe in things. Okay, and Knight of Cups here, there's something that your heart is very attached to. Very, very attached to. Could be a relationship, could be a person, could be something else dealing with money, a job, a project, an idea, something like that. Ten of Wands in reverse is saying this is so heavy, me trying to believe in myself. I don't know how to believe in myself. I don't know how to carry the weight of believing in myself, of having faith, of having belief in something. It's like you don't want to get your hopes up. Ten of Wands in reverse. That's what I'm picking up. You don't want to get your hopes up. You're so worried about this opportunity, this thing that you're very attached to getting stolen away from you. The only person that can steal away this opportunity from you is you, Pile 3. Just you. Okay, let's get to your oracle cards. Very first card that we have, discovery period. Okay. Interesting. So, what was I saying, Pile 3? These cards here have been on point for every pile. It's crazy because this is my random oracle deck is what I call it. It's what I consider it. I actually just got this. This is a brand new deck. I think it's called the Reconciliation deck or something like that. Your spiritual team is trying to show you, but you have to be open to seeing and believing. That's what this discovery period is talking about over the next couple of weeks. Your spiritual team will open the gates of heaven for you to show you the impossible if you can meet them halfway with your faith. The next 2 weeks is all about showing you something, Pile 2. It's all about showing you how to believe, what you can believe in. This is definitely a discovery period for you, and you're discovering a lot about yourself as well, in terms of what it is that you can do. That Ten of Wands in reverse that I flipped as a clarifier was very telling in terms of where it's just like, It's kind of showing you your limitations and how you've decided what those limitations are. The next card that we have here is the Wildling. Okay. This card here feels so untamed, wild, free thinking. And there's swords on this card as well. And you have the Ace of Swords in reverse down here. So this is saying to reel in your mind, pile 3. Over the next couple of weeks, work to discipline your mind a bit more. I've always, like I said, described faith as a skill. It's not something that we're given. We have to work to believe, especially in a realm, world, and society that is constantly telling us how immature, unintelligent, and irrelevant magic, faith, and our belief is. Even though every living being believes in something. Every living being believes in something. To not believe is believing in something. Either way, you're making a statement and siding with some sort of mindset because it resonates with you. Even if believing in nothing resonates with you, you know? So this is saying, the Wildling card here is saying, train yourself, train your faith bit by bit, so you can learn how to focus it, you know, so that the way it's not all over the place where it's like you're just believing in everything. Belief can be so vast that it ends up working against us or resisting us, because it's like, yeah, I believe in the impossible. I believe I can make my dreams work. But at the same time, I also believe that somebody could tell me no. I also believe that somebody could reject me. I also believe in logic. Like I said, you're a very logical person. So it's like you also believe in logic. And that's kind of where you want to sort of reel your mind in and start to focus it, start to concentrate it, so that the way it's not just running all over the place, you know? Train yourself from situation to situation, bit by bit. Work with your energy to see how, when you put yourself in a different mindset, how it affects your day or situation. When you wake up with gratitude and appreciation, see how it affects your day and your interactions. When you wake up one days and you're not just feeling it, you know, stay aware and watch how it affects your day. Watch how people respond to you. All of it. Pay attention. This will show you a lot more about how influential you are in your own life and fate, honestly. The next card that we have here is Scold. I think I'm saying her name right, the Future. Some of you are, like I said, you're waiting on this decision because it's a situation where it's like, if this works out, I've made it, or things will get much easier from here. It's like this pivotal moment for you happening over the next couple of weeks that you feel is attached to your future in some way. The next couple of weeks, I'm also seeing a lot of realizations for you. There will be moments where you are talking to someone and they say something that means something so deep to you. You're going to come across a lot of advice and insight that's going to help shape your future. Because like I said, you're going to see just how influential you are and just how much you've been in control this entire time. It's just a matter of you seeing it. So the next 2 weeks are really here to show you, okay, for sure. And you guys, I'm also picking up maybe like if you guys are into like self-help, or if there's like some sort of a book or something, or like an app that teaches you how to meditate, something like that, I see some of you guys coming into contact with over the next couple of weeks. For sure, invest in it. Take some time every single day to listen to this person or this podcast, or, you know, do this little, maybe it's like a month challenge where you meditate every day. I don't know. It's something where I see some sort of like self-help thing that you get into over the next couple of weeks, really helping to shape the way that you see things, because it's all about how you're seeing things, pile 3. The next 2 cards that we have here is Release, okay, and Embracing. So yeah, like how the leaves fall from the trees in this Release card right here, your skepticism is like these leaves falling from this tree. It's falling away from you, who is like the tree, a bare tree. The skepticism has grown on you because of different life experiences and mindsets, but like the fall comes through every year to shed those leaves from the previous season, there is a season of fall happening within you and within your personal life for you, pile 3. The next 2 weeks is like your personal fall coming to shed your leaves of doubt and disbelief. So embrace what you see and experience, and keep your eyes open so you can take it all in. Like it says here, the next 2 weeks are pivotal for your future, with the Scold Future card right here. Discovery period. I mean, there's a lot that you're going to realize over the next couple of weeks. The final card that we have here are Arborvitae. I don't know. It's the card of flow. Trigger statement. Why are things such a struggle? True statement. I'm in the flow. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Release your need to do and just be. Exactly. Exactly, pile 3. So this is all that I'm seeing. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys.